to the breakdown of the murder of Tupac Shakur, which occurred September 7th at 11:15 p.m., 1996 in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going to take you back an hour earlier. We're going to start at 10:15 p.m. that night to kind of see where the energy was, where he was, who he was with, what was going on. And then we're going to lead that up to the actual incident that happened. So we start off with the Taurus ascendant, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is here in the third house. So we know that the ascendant is Tupac and the descendant is the killer. So we look at the ascendant and we say Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of beauty, love, peace. It's also the planet of being very comfortable and indulgence and fun and friendship and things like that. So if we follow the ruler here, we'll see that he was, it's in the third house, so he was in his community or a place he felt was his community. It was a comfortable place. Taurus rules the throat. I assume this was maybe a recording studio for him. And I mean, it's possible it was a recording studio or somewhere in the community. We have Venus in the sign of Leo, and that is entertainment. And this is why I said recording studio, because it's some place that he felt, in a position of knowing what he's doing and having fun and all the type of Leo entertainment types of things. Okay. So this is kind of an hour before this happened. I believe this is where he was. And we see the moon is there in Cancer. And we see Mars there as well. The moon is connection with other individuals. So we know that there were other individuals there. We see Mars there in Cancer. So the moon is in is in its dignity, and Mars is in its fall. And so he was definitely around individuals that he knew, but also probably, having Mars in Cancer, these may have been sneaky type of individuals as well, maybe passive aggressive individuals. And then we see that that Mars has an opposition to Neptune here, which is can rule deception. Okay, it can rule deception as well. All right, so we have Uranus here as well. We have Venus in Leo opposite Uranus. And we know that Uranus is the planet of unexpected, spur of the moment things that kind of happen. And so it seems as if with this Mars conjunct Venus, that he decided to, go out and do something like have the change of an environment, maybe go out into the neighborhood, do something else, do something different. So it's kind of a spur of the moment decision to kind of change plans and go out and do something else. If we look at Venus, Venus has a sextile with Mercury. Mercury is the planet of transportation, it's the planet of communication. And so the fifth house, where you see the sun and Mercury, the fifth house rules a place of leisure and fun. This could have been like a nightclub or maybe a lounge. I would say bar, but I don't really see the indication of like liquor and things like that. So it's probably somewhere it's very social. It's in Libra, so it has to be a place where people get together and social and maybe celebrity or maybe, people of that nature. The fifth house is the home of the sun and of Leo. So it's probably a place where they were going that had people that they know, or maybe famous people, or people where famous people would go. I would say a lounge or something, like a famous club or something like that. When we look at the fifth house, the sun is there. So he was going from maybe the recording studio or whatever place he was in his community to the nightclub. This is where the car was going. And we see the sun here. So there was somebody powerful with him, obviously. This is somebody, the sun is regal, the sun is royal, it's big. This is whoever was with whoever the individual that was accompanying him was somebody probably, very important, and somebody very meticulous, somebody who knew what they were doing. It's in Virgo. And somebody he considered a friend with, because we see the moon back here. So wherever he was with people that he trusted. Let's go over to the descendant, which is at 0 degrees Pluto, which is a critical degree. So, whoever this person is meant business, okay? It's the descendant is in Scorpio. Pluto is literally right here. This person had every intent to kill him. Every intent. Pluto is in opposition. So they already had that idea. Period. Who was the killer? So we have Scorpio on the descendant, right? So now we're going to look for where the rulers of Scorpio is. First of all, one of the rulers is right here, conjunct. The other ruler, which is Mars, let's go all the way back to that third house. Right here. Actually with a conjunction to Venus. So the person, and I want to say killer, but I want to say this could have also been the person involved in the killing. Okay? A lot of times that descendant will tell you who either the killer is or the individual who was very connected to the situation. And so who is this person? This person had a lot of power. The person was very intimate with him, and I mean intimate in the way that they knew each other, they spent time together, they worked together. And that night that this incident went down, whoever this person was in communication with Tupac. They were in communication with him, period. So this was somebody from his own community, his own tribe, his own circle. Very connected, right here. Pluto and Mars trine each other. And they conjunct Venus. So this is how we know that this person was a so-called friend of his, or someone he felt tight with, and somebody that he had some sort of deep connection with. It's not a random individual. Now, when we look at Pluto, we see that it has a trine to Saturn. So we have all the planets of death here. This person had every intent, and Mars is violence, right here, to do exactly what they did. Also, Pluto here has a sextile to Uranus, right here. And Uranus is the explosive planet of unpredictability. It's the planet of unexpected. It can cause chaos when you least expect it. You never know what's going to happen with Uranus. Whatever, wherever that is, you just never know. Things just kind of pop up on you. Okay? And so we look at Uranus up here, which has a connection with Pluto and Mars. And the Aquarius is on the MC, which is its ruler. So we know that something's going to go down. We know that something's going to happen. Now, the killer here is someone who has a lot of resources. They're extremely powerful, okay? Pluto is power, and it's in the seventh house of legal partnerships, legality. So this person had a lot of power in the sense of legal documents, things that were drawn up, things that were relevant to Tupac and his community, his lifestyle. The seventh house is legalities. It's relationships that are very connected, not just like, oh, we're friends, but no, these things are signed and these things are documented, and this is how it's going to be. Now we notice that Pluto is in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So we have to go find out where its ruler is. And Jupiter is in the eighth house of death. And it's in Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, another planet of death. And not only is it ruled by that, it has a square to that. Now, if we look at this person, Jupiter is a planet of expansion, and it's in Capricorn, so this is an individual who is authoritative. They are an absolute authoritative figure. Jupiter makes everything bigger. This is a large person, a very intimidating, large, authoritative individual who means business, because that's what Capricorn represents. They represent business, and that's how they treat everybody, like a business contract. It's in the eighth house of death and deep connection and roots to other people. And I mean roots in the sense of owed money and legacy and things like that. Things that are beyond death, things that you inherit, okay? It has a square to Saturn. So this is somebody who probably felt restricted in a lot of ways as well. They felt like he was getting in the way, or he was a little bit too much, getting too big for his britches. There could be a lot of different things behind that. But if we notice, Saturn is in Aries, and Aries is the most violent. So they meant killing, getting rid of. And if we look at the ruler of Aries, where is it? It's at close proximity to him. This person was at the closest proximity, literally. And I'm looking here, guys, and I want you to follow me. Even if you don't study astrology, I hope you can follow me. Here is Tupac. The ruler is right here. And here is the co-ruler of the killer, literally conjuncting. And we go here, we have the rulers right here, right up in his face. This is a very powerful individual who is large in size, who is domineering, and who means business, and who is extremely serious. This is an intimidating person. People don't F with him, basically. So something was going down that was unexpected to Tupac, but not unexpected to the individual. Now, if we look at Mercury, we go back to Mercury. Mercury's transportation. So if we go back to Mercury, I want to make a connection for you guys. Mercury has a Now stay with me. An out of sign trine to the ascendant. Whoever this was in communication with Tupac. They were in communication. So he knew where he was going to be. He knew where he was going to be. Look at this. Look at this connection here. We got Mercury here. We got Pluto here. This is a sextile right here. Pluto is the killer or whoever was involved making contact right here with Mercury, and whoever the contact was in contact with him. So they already knew the setup. He didn't know the setup. For him, it was going to be a Uranian moment. All right, guys. Let's move forward to the actual time of the shooting. It's now 11:15 p.m. and we can see that Gemini is on the ascendant. That means there were two people present. There was somebody else with Tupac, and we could see that they are either very close to or still en route to that nightclub. Okay? So now you see the planets have shifted a bit. And the co-ruler of the chart is the moon. We can see it has an opposition to Uranus, which means something is about to pop off at any given moment. And we see the Neptune aspect as well, which is very sneaky and devious behavior. And it's in Capricorn, and its ruler is in the 11th house, which is a public house. It's a friendship house. It is actually the house that Uranus rules. And it's in Aries, which already shows us that it's going to end very badly. And so we see that the Uranian opposition, which means something just kind of broke out, which, I mean, on the surface level, obviously it looks like somebody just rolled up and it just happened. But as we talked about before, it was definitely in the plans. They knew where he was. They were in contact with him that night and the person that he was with. It was a very close individual that knew him and, was very close to him. And so we look at the ascendant and we see that Sagittarius is here. Like I explained earlier, Jupiter's right here in the 8th house, and it is squaring Saturn, which means it's already going to pop off in a big way, because that's what Jupiter does. Now, Saturn is death, and it's in Aries, so Aries is stabbing, shooting, cutting, injury to the head injury, face injury. And so we look at this and you would think that the shooting was unexpected because you have that Mars opposite Uranus, and that you would have that Mars and Moon opposite Uranus, and then you have the Jupiter square. But it played out like that, but it wasn't like that. So we look at the 11th house of where this shooting happened. It happened in eyesight. It wasn't a hit. It's not a hidden house. Aries there's an interception with Aries in this house, which was violence and guns and killing and all that stuff. And we could see the opposition here to Mercury. It was done in a vehicle. Now, if we look at the killer, this is somebody who was overconfident. They were confident. They knew that they were going to do what they did. Pluto's right here. Jupiter is the planet that will give you a lot of confidence, will give you overconfidence. This is somebody who's authoritative, somebody who has a lot of clout. This is somebody who has a lot of following. They have a really big image. Capricorn is the ruler of the 10th house, which is notoriety, how people perceive you. They already perceive this person as somebody who's scary, somebody who's authoritative, somebody who means business. And so he knew that he would pull it off. He was overconfident here. Now, interesting enough, there were two people, with the passenger here. There were him and somebody else, and whoever that person was that was with him. Let's see who that person was. Gemini is the ascendant. Now we have squaring the sun, Virgo. Virgo is the natural ruler of the sixth house. So whoever who he was with was somebody powerful. He was with somebody powerful, someone who obviously knew him well, but somebody who was kind of like a larger than life type of figure. And we have the sixth house here. Pluto is in the sixth house, making that trine up to Saturn. So whoever he was with was just as powerful. Somebody big, somebody who knew him for a long time, somebody who had an image, okay? And we see Aries is here, so that's with the Saturn and Aries, we see that there was an injury to the face. It had to be to the head or the face because Aries rules the head and the face. So whoever was with him, they had an injury to the face or the head. And they were not meant to die. They were not meant to die. That was not an accident. That was not an accident. And why was it not an accident? Well, even though Jupiter expands it's not that terrible no matter what it's doing. A square is the most difficult aspect to have. It brings a lot of challenges. However, when you have Jupiter still, Jupiter can get you out of a lot of things. Jupiter really can. Jupiter can save you. And it looks like even with the square, he was meant to get off. He was not meant that bullet, the death bullets was not really meant for him. So he got injured, but he didn't die. Now, for those of you who are knowledgeable about this story, please put in the comments. But this is what I came up with from an astrological standpoint. I did not watch any clips. I mean, I'm talking like I haven't, since I was a kid, like since this happened, I haven't gone into what the murders are specifically. I just don't do that when I do astrology. I like to figure it out for myself. But the main thing is, you got this Neptune-Uranian opposition. There's such sneaky things going on. And Neptune's in the 8th house, so you know that it's low key, right? But if you notice, it's in Capricorn, and Capricorn is very calculating. Very calculating. And Saturn is the ruler of old age and death, and it's in Aries, which is murder, stabbing. It's very violent. It's very violent. And so you look at all these connections, look at all these oppositions and squares. I mean, there was so much anger, there. And the interesting part is that, the person who did this was literally in connection with him. That night they knew where he was going to be and everything. And it's sad and it's terrible. That's all I have to say, guys. Like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. I'll see you on my main channel, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, and I'll see you in my next podcast video.